fuck, I'm out of cigarettes.
Is that a yes?
Sorry, what was that?
So do you want me to get out?
Oh, yeah. A nice place to chat, I guess.
Yeah,
okay.
no, I get it from that standpoint. Anything we could do to take the pressure off, you know,
Yeah.
like especially the time and quality constraints is a massive benefit. And I think some of those constraints could be resolved by the supplier, but the supply chain and the logistics are definitely a constraint as well.
Yeah. I think that's going to be the biggest kick in the balls. If we get a week without any materials, that is... Hold on. Just for shits and giggles. I don't know, some Bobby's dumbass is like sitting in the back of this. Oh! Oh! Oh, Mr. Chavez! Oh! Oh! Mr. Chavez! Oh! I think I really like the Project R idea. I think that solves quite a bit.
Yeah, I agree. Well, especially 12 hours is ridiculous.
Oh, I didn't mind the 12 hours. It's more the after the 12 hearing, hey, I need more next week. And I'm just like, bro, like, fucking put a bigger order in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, Jesus fucking Christ. I think if I'm going to be pretty blunt about it, this is not what I imagined it to be. This is not how people are like. This shit's getting used like it's fucking like a chocolate bar. You know what I mean? Just fucking nom 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 nom.
Yeah.
1,000 have hit the streets. Right. And I will say we might be hitting a saturation point, but I'm starting to wonder if that saturation point is actually there.
Yeah, homie.
So,
I mean, I can tell you the clowns have class 2s. They were firing them off last night.
Holy fucking shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
And for all we know, we haven't even scratched the surface.
All right, chat, we're going to be turning off the Twitch stream here. Head over to kick.com/dasMEHDI. I'm going to see you live over there. I'm just changing my glasses real quick.
No worries.
Love you guys, and I will see you real soon. Link is going to be right there in chat. See you soon, boys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah, so, bye-bye. Let's take a let me pull this out. Let me take a look at how this is looking.
What's that? Which one?
All right. So right now, honestly, I think most of this is pretty good. It's mostly Manx's thing that has been pushing back with contention. Everything else has been rather, I think they've been rather understanding of, but I think pushing it through, making it very fucking clear that it's going to be every 2 weeks is it. I think that's what we got to end up doing here. Because we need to pre-assess everything. The alternative is we just get such a endless flow of materials. But I do, well, tell me, how are the material guys looking? Like, what's their burnout rate right now? Because I'm afraid that we're going to burn them out, if I'm going to be real.
We're getting there already.
Yeah.
Two of my most reliable sellers I haven't heard from in a couple of days. And then Christian Toe and Catherine Windsor are another two, right? And with what happened to them yesterday, who knows if they're going to get back on a Sandy truck anytime soon. So at that point, what does that leave me with outside of dealing with Mats Aplenty and the material hub? And then I'm making two very big fucking orders, which I don't want to do. You know what I mean?
Which is, yeah,
last I
understandable.
heard from Jaina, they were even experiencing burnout at the material hub, and Roddy.
Oh shit!
Off, so who knows, right?
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So at that point, you're kind of what do you do? You're on Twitter begging for scraps from the general public, which is not sustainable, right? So I've tried to push a lot of these people that I buy materials from that typically run together to start a business, to work towards building something, to kind of light a fire under their ass and give them something to take ownership of, right? To our benefit. It's a reliable supply of materials at a better rate than market rate.
Yeah.
That just hasn't materialized yet.
I think the reality is that the appetite is significantly bigger. We're hitting two problems simultaneously. The first problem is what seems like the endless appetite, right?
Yeah.
And an endless appetite means that it just needs to be nonstop material production, which means it's material runners burning out before anything else, right?
Yep. Yep.
The second problem is we need, of these 8 folks, 3 of them to step up to actually have a plan of action how to get to 200 every 2 weeks, right? And having that business acclimate to know that, listen, you have no say as to when these things come in. You don't need to know how the background works. Your dumbass knows that there's this much coming in. You either take it or you leave it, right? There is no, reverse engineering, like, why is this? You don't need to know that information. That's not your problem.
Yeah.
Right? Nor will it really matter anyways, even if it was lined up. And I will say that at the very top of that, SCAN company, apparently they're ready to take on 200. Now, I don't expect them to take on the 200, but I think they're actually prepared for it. Now, which is where my next thing goes, which is I did tell him to siphon off some of their last order to a handful of groups. And if they're managing to do that, then maybe we start opening up that tie a little bit wider.
Okay.
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you, Michael. There is a part of me that says maybe we just fucking wash our hands of this shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know this, but as it opens up, that need is going to increase. There will be more demand, which means there will be more constraint on the supply chain, right?
Oh, my fucking God.
That's why I don't think we're at saturation yet, because I think there are a lot of people who don't even know how to get their hands on one of these. Or they know how, they just don't have the connections necessary. So,
well, I was told that I was in a circle with Barrett yesterday, Marshall Barrett. And he mentioned that they got 600 off the streets in like a week or two or some shit. I forgot what the number was. And I listened to that and I'm just like, this is fucking insane.
Yeah.
It's not achieving the goals that we wanted, right? No. I got into this because I want the fucking system to fucking burn down.
Yeah. And instead,
but this isn't burning the fucking system, is it?
No, they're taking class 2s to cash exchanges. Is what I'm hearing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing I'm like thinking through this. Like, is this what I got into it for? So,
I mean, if I was in your position, I would I would demand a message be sent. You know what I mean? No orders until some of our goals are being achieved. I haven't seen that yet. I'm with you.
I think I'm gonna have a conversation with our connect. Let them know what's going on. There may be a way to alleviate it. I also am under the impression that they may not have this understanding either.
Yeah. Okay.
There may be. I don't think I would be surprised if they're under the impression that the pickup rate, the rate at which these are getting taken off the streets, is at a much higher rate than desirable. Because if these, well, the other thing too is like I don't know if the shotguns are moving either.
Fuck, did I not tell you this before I left town?
Maybe.
Oh, no. Fuck, I can't believe I forgot to tell you. They are moving, and I know who's moving them beyond, Tally and Company.
Wait, are you talking lumber union?
Yeah, did I tell you?
Oh, no, Tolly told me pretty much.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Brother, Tolly, I fuck with Tolly. You know what? I really like Tolly. I think if it wasn't for, like, honestly, if it wasn't for, like, my just not lining up well with Wyatt, everything else about the lumber union, I mean, they got Brandon works for them, Tolly does. But no, Tolly told me as much. And,
well, and it's not just the shotguns. Apparently, I think it's magazines as well.
So, wait 1 second. Hey, what's going on, Alan?
Yo, do you want? I'm about to make a poster right now. Do you want people to know that it's been funded by the mayor or some shit? Like,
sure.
Do you care about that?
Yeah.
Well, I'm asking if you care. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll slap it in the little fine print.
Yeah. And the 50% off weekend.
What's up? 50% what?
50% off weekend on fines.
To put that on the poster too? I mean,
well, no, you don't have to put it on there. I'm just never mind.
Oh no, I heard about that shit. By the way, that was W. Good shit, bro. Perfect timing. The boys all got arrested yesterday, so that was great timing.
Oh Jesus fucking Christ! All right. When is this thing, by the way?
Monday, 2 hours after the storm. I'm trying to
Monday, 2 hours after storm. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it diverse. I've got like Chaos Legion members come in, Tony, a couple besties, some Mana, some Hydra, some, like PD. Like I'm trying to make it as diverse as possible. I don't want it to just be a fucking like one grip Andy type fucking thing. You know what I mean?
All right, no worries.
I appreciate you.
Right, I think appreciate you. You take care. Bye. So yeah, what was I gonna say? Fuck, what were you talking about? Yeah, the lumber union. Well, tell me what you know, and then I'll show the other side.
I mean, oh, fuck, I can't believe. I swear to God, I told you all this.
Yeah, so, you might have. There's a lot of things where like we might listen. We talk a lot.
I don't think I did. I don't think I did. I think this happened, hours before I left town.
Yeah.
Helios calls me up and says that he sold his home in the barrio to Wyatt. And not an hour later, Wyatt calls me up. He's like, I want you to check out my new property. And he brings me to Helios' place. And he starts showing me, all these fucking weapons. And I can't remember because it's been, 10 days. But he's either manufacturing magazines or bullets. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So that's effectively what I know. I know he's running with Tally to some extent. I know that Brandon is involved. I know that as of a couple days ago, I don't want to say there's trouble in paradise, but they all seem to have a different vision for what they want. Tally has this whole market idea that she has.
Oh my God, a lot of people do know about this. What the fuck?
A big picture guy, right? So there's this disconnect, but to your point, I like these people. They're all just very loose-lipped. You know what I mean?
I don't. but that's fine for what they do, right? Like Tali's not allergic to jail. Brandon isn't allergic to it. Wyatt is oh my God, who told me this? Someone called out Wyatt for selling shit, and he was like, "What do you mean? How do you know?" Like, you know what I mean? He got like, who the fuck told me this? This was like last week. Someone's told me. I'm like, brother, like I think part of the city fucking knows. Why? Because he's. What do you think's gonna happen when you're moving? It's. I will say that they're good people. You're right. They probably have different visions. But are those shotguns moving?
That's a good question. And
I don't think they are. I think we have replaced their market.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Now, I'm not necessarily proud of that. I wish people didn't want our shit. I'm going to be honest with you. This is too much. I think that's what I'm saying. I think that's where this conversation is driving. This shit's going to fucking break my back. I think it's going to break your back.
Yeah.
I think it's going to break a lot of people's back that we're doing this with. And right now, the reason I got into it, I feel like the reason you got into it, it's not aligning anymore. I feel like I am producing these things not for the whim and the greater goal of the people of this city being able to take arms for when it's needed, but instead that the first chance that there's an opportunity to use the AK-47s for whatever fucking rinky-dinky fucking D-boost ass bullshit, it's what it's being used for, right?
I mean, the hot dog stand got held up yesterday with Class 2s. They took one of the workers hostage.
Wait, oh, Jesus fuck. I mean, that's going to happen, but for what, right?
It was a cash exchange.
Holy Jesus.
Yeah. And
fucking waterfall.
When we got held up at the airport last night, you know, Christian and Catherine, 4 people step out of a vehicle. They're all holding Class 2s. So it's like you say, and any opportunity that presents themselves, they're pulling out the big guns. So.
Yeah. This is going to be a system where things are coming in, right? Let's say 400 every 2 weeks. Let's say 800 a month. But if the majority or even half of those are getting, like, I was stun locked when Barrick told me 200 were taken up.
Yeah.
Were seized. That's a lot.
It is.
But that's a hell of a lot of carelessness.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you say carelessness. I say strain on the supply chain, because it only further expedites the need. And the need would be okay, but it's not sustainable. You know what I mean? Now, let's say we can make 5 at a time. Great, but that still doesn't solve the material issue. Let's say we
wait, 5 at a time? Sorry?
Let's say we had 5 workbenches operational, right?
Right.
No problem. But then the material market's going to dry up.
Right.
And I don't think the answer is, sanitation needs to become more efficient. That's not going to solve anything.
No, it's not. It's an endless beast.
It is.
Hypothetically, we could increase the cost, but that also then subverts the it removes the goal too. That kind of goes against our the why we're doing this.
Exactly.
I will say that of each person that's picked up something, they were given an assignment to hunt down a justice.
And?
I don't know if anyone's produced just yet. Something I was gonna give them a week, like Monday, you know what I mean? When they got the drop.
Yeah.
Get reassessments.
Yeah, listen, there are a lot of variables. some in our control, most not in our control. And I think it's a very, very fragile supply chain that if any variable moves too far out of reach, the whole thing falls apart. Can I deal with the time constraint? I don't even hate the time constraint. I'll be honest with you. It's more the reality that as this scales up, I know that it's going to fail. And that's why I guess I'm hesitant.
I agree. Because even the little bit you told me about the mats, if this is the situation today, it's going to be worse 4 weeks from now.
Right. I think if that problem gets solved,
yeah,
which I think is an impossible to solve problem, but let's say it does, I think everything
with the material
else falls
aspect,
into place. Exactly.
Yeah, the thing I could think of, and this is, here's what I'm thinking, is that I think some of these things may need to be manufactured a little bit more loosey, right? Maybe some of those, some of the shit that people like to pick up, like some of it might be easier to make than some of the others. But, look, I'm going to shoot straight. I think most people already have an idea what it takes to make this stuff. And you're not going to be able to break that mental in the back of everyone's mind. Look, I'm going to shoot straight. Everybody and their fucking mother is moving something. So from their perspective, they're moving like ammo and magazines or whatever the fuck. So their perception of what it takes to make like a AK is, oh, it must be the same. Right. Except it's not. It's significantly more illegal, right? Because ammo's legal, magazines are not. You can't get weapons trafficking with fucking magazines.
Empty clip.
Yeah, it's fucking empty clip, exactly. Yeah. It's significantly less materials, and you're not dealing with the, our component issue, right? Drops every week and a half or whatever. When you factor all of, but however, the least common denominator is being used to say, well, a million of these should be on the streets, and therefore the appetite becomes endless. I don't think, other than maybe Lang, which, mind you, the guy got a couple and they still got him, are using these extremely loose. And it's not matching the amount of materials available on the street. So I think what we need to get here, is we need to get guidance. Like, what is the game plan here? Is there an alternative route? And maybe that is, I don't know. I think we're going to need some feedback on it before we do anything. I will say, I think if things don't change, I see myself dipping out of this. Simply on the notion that it's a lot of work, doesn't achieve our goals.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, effectively. I was going to say, I see the vision.
This is a good conversation.
Right? I align with the vision. I want to contribute to the vision. I always have, right?
Yeah.
But when you commit to something like that, there has to be some inherent belief that it's achievable.
Yeah.
And on the trajectory that we're on, you and I both know it's going to fall apart. So unless I think perhaps some context needs to be shared from our side, what the reality is here. And if that, if solutions are available, I'm here, right? I'm going to help.
Yep.
But if it's figure it out, there's nothing to figure out. The need is, as you said, infinite, and everything will fall apart.
Yeah. I think I'm going to have a better understanding come Monday. Yeah, what how people are looking in terms of what they got. I'm going to hit the other folks, but man, if it's anything like my conversation with Manx, people are still fucking desperate for some, and there simply is not enough material. How much did we fucking go through? Let me see, 900 times. And I actually think we're a little over 1,000, if I'm going to be honest. 900 times 433. times 3. Oh my God, 1.2 million materials.
Yeah, thereabouts.
In a month.
Yeah.
In a month. Holy fucking shit.
That's pulling from every corner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There isn't a source that I haven't sussed out for materials.
All right. We'll table on this. I think let's get the other ones. We'll focus on what we got right now, and I'm going to set up a meeting with some of the other heads coming up.
Yeah.
State of things and see how do we want to take things going forward.
Yeah, sounds good.
I think I was going to say this. Everyone and their fucking mother, I think, is a supplier.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you name it, someone's got is cooking either ammo or fucking magazines.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So, as a consequence of this, everyone's a fucking expert.
Well, I think they are.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm saying that tongue in cheek. My point is that it sort of created quite the dog eat dog situation where everything's kind of consuming itself. So what it is what I'm trying to point out here is there is an inherent, what is it called? It creates a, oh, Jason's around. It creates a bit of a race to the bottom.
Sure, yeah.
But the race to the bottom is also being attributed to the amount that is being consumed.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's not just you're taking it to sell, you're taking it to use. And if you're willing to lose it, it's like an unending faucet.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll handle what we got, and then I'm going to talk to this guy and see all these people or whoever the fuck. So we can figure out this material issue. I think in a perfect world, being to produce some of these things a little bit cheaper might be the best way about it. Because, man, if that material shortage gets hit too hard, there ain't going to be nothing on the streets anymore.
That's it. And
no, but she went away.
Heading towards that. I mean, look what happened with Mopec, right?
Yeah.
Shang places that big, whatever it was, 100,000 mat order to the material hub, and suddenly all our deliveries dry up, right? That's one order. Now, as you said, if everyone is a supplier, we know that that's not the order of that volume being placed around the city.
Yeah.
It's just unsustainable.
Yep. All right. I'm gonna think about something real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
And then we'll
Likewise,
move to the next. Do your thing. Do a little stretch out legs, you know.
Yeah.
So what Nino's thinking about right now, right, is Nino and the Faceless want to flood the streets, right? But the challenge that's being hit is that there is not the demand for this shit is fucking absurd, right? And I don't think SMGs are going to help. I think the material cost might be too much. Well, it's not even the material cost really, but like Nino is in this to flood the streets, right? Eventually lead to a bit of a political message. But I think the reality is that I think the addiction for class 2s is so high, I don't think you're ever going to satiate the appetite. Could be wrong. And that's what Nino's sort of expressing to Michael. I think as Nino speaks with Speedy and Flippy and KJ and SK. Some of that might change, but Michael and Nino are kind of worried. I think we're going to run out of materials. Because most of the big material crews are already getting, you know, sort of, end of their wits. I feel like the political message is being drowned with the need for ARs. Yeah. I don't think there's actually a desire for that. The message of the faceless. And so I think Nino's probably going to have a very, like, straight conversation. Like, what do we want to do here? Well, we can still get the materials, but I think it's very evident that that material supply is going to probably start drying up very soon. Start asking crews to pay with materials? Ugh. We have no control over who uses it for what, right? That's not for us to say. However, it's a endless bucket. Let me put this in more straightforward terms. I don't see this RP as being very appealing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping the ease of this stuff kind of goes in so we can focus more on the RP as opposed to grinding out shit and doing fucking like an endless amount of drops. The amount of shit that we got to generate is so obscene. To only hear, we need more guns, it needs to be more often. You kind of sit back and you're like, what the fuck is this? There you go. I'll shoot straight. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. In roleplay, you're hearing me talk about like the materials. I'm saying like, bruh, motherfucker pumped out how many guns and still needs even more guns? There's more demands over this shit? What the fuck? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the goal of this RP isn't making sure that, you know, like a handful of gangs have like endless class 2 gun supply, right? It's got to be a little bit more interesting than that. Otherwise, in RP, Nina's going to be like, this is fucking dumb as shit. There you go. Hey, Jason.
Hey, I forgot to tell you earlier, Billy Strutt was talking with me last night about his application for distilling. I told him just to go ahead and start using the stills at the port center, and if anybody gave him trouble, to call me.
Beautiful. I did actually send him a message. He should be approved. So
okay, perfect. That's what I told him because I didn't see why he wouldn't be. So.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Easy.
Perfect.
All right. All right, Jason. We'll probably hit you up in a little bit as we're kind of cooking on some things.
Sounds good. I'll be around.
Right. Easy. All right. Talk to you in a bit.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye. Get to the point of getting to one of the... Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to get at. We're trying to make sure that there's more... you know, we want to keep the shit... It's very grindy is what I'm getting at. And I think the grind is going to overcook the entire system. So we're trying to find like a means by which this remains interesting and I don't end up getting... Let me put it this way. That last run, holy fucking shit. It definitely cooked me last week. I think Michael did like, you know, between how much me and Michael did, it was a lot. So knowing that there's even more desire, I just don't know how we scale it. But in relation to you know, the grind in RP out needs to be balanced, and I think that's kind of what I'm sort of thinking about to some degree. Yeah, but it doesn't really resolve the endless. I mean, I think maybe if the material count is brought down, that might assist to some degree. But I mean, we'll see. The appetite is much bigger than it's ever been. Whitelist the chatters and get them to run bats for you. But we don't want to burn out the mat suppliers either, right? But anyways, I'm not looking to chat for solutions. We got to figure that out. I mean, that's the other reason that we're trying to aim for 3 drops, because the drops themselves take a hell of a lot of time to set up. Last week, weren't you pushing people to buy more? Yes, and I know some people are a little retarded. But yes, the intent is that they buy more. This is simple algebra. They're buying more because there's only going to be 3, which means instead of 8, there's 3, which means the count is the same. It's just they're taking on more collective responsibility for doling it out. If there's currently 8 groups that are purchasing X amount, and now all of a sudden there's 3 groups that are buying the same amount, the number goes up. No, you're good. You're good. Yeah. I think it hasn't really helped that there's been true. Yeah, so there's a couple problems that we kind of gotta have to wade through, I think, in the grand scheme of things. But we'll figure it out. But I think the biggest challenge right now is making sure that these mat runners don't end up getting burnt out. I don't think there's really a solution to that, if I'm gonna be honest. You killed our Jessica, now you gotta live with the consequences? Fuck Jessica. Yo, Small Town, thank you for the gifted sub. Appreciate you. All right. Just thinking a little bit. I think here's the reality. I think the sooner we're able to shift focus to 3, the better. And I think of the 3, the biggest aptitude test has been, what services have they provided beyond monetary? Because the money is the least relevant bit.
Yeah, agreed.
And if they cannot aspire to the greater goals or show interest in it naturally, then we have to show our disinterest. Because we cannot control the flow of materials. We cannot. We may only be able to get half a million this over the next month. Estimated. And so as such, there are going to be months where there's going to be less available, right? Now things could change, right? Maybe the manufacturing becomes more efficient. It's possible, but that's not in our control. What is in our control is who receives. And if those who receive, if the distributors are smart in the way that they move this stuff, they will make sure it is getting into the hands of those that are using it efficiently. And I think that's the direction we really need to start moving towards.
Yeah, but it precludes those distributors not being primarily motivated by money.
What do you mean?
Well, let's say we have people distributing on our behalf, and let's say those people have a financial interest. Obviously, more money comes to those people, the more deliveries they make. So it's not just you and I that need to align in that vision. I agree generally, right? Hedging your bet on getting the most value out of who you're doing business with. That makes sense.
I think we have some candidates that are interested in the bigger picture. And that bigger picture also aligns well with let's just say our partner. And if push comes to shove, and let's say our volume dramatically drops down to, let's say, even 300 for the month, they'll be willing to accept that situation. You know?
Okay.
I think that resolves our volume issue.
Yeah, I agree.
Is that we cannot be dealing to those that I think ultimately just the ultimate goal here is to flood the streets. But if the streets are causing a drainage hole, right? Well, then that's not really flooding, right? It's kind of doing the opposite.
Yeah. I mean, it would be one thing if it was creating. It would be one thing if it was achieving our goals, and it's not. It's not. I would argue it's barely creating a burden. You know what I mean? So
it is to the PD, but that doesn't really do anything.
Right. Exactly. So I like the idea of being more selective and hedging your bet on where you're going to maximize your impact, right?
I like this.
Yeah.
I think let's sit on this. I think this is a very good conversation. I think I'm glad we talked about the burdens that we're starting to face with materials, or what we foresee happening soon.
Yeah.
There's also a reality too. We haven't seen like SMGs hitting the streets. The moment that happens, and if it does happen, that changes the game completely. That's another consumer of materials.
Right.
And that's another thing I'm going to pose to the partner, which is, how does he see things playing out? Because I do think that his goals are not really lining up any longer, or maybe there's context I'm missing. We'll find out soon.
I think it's entirely possible both sides are missing context.
Yeah.
I think I don't want to call it a rude awakening, but I think perhaps opening their eyes to the actual on-the-ground constraints will help.
Yeah. And keep in mind, I got to talk to some of the others too. So it'll be interesting to see what their take on all this is.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Well, shit. Oh. All right.
While you were thinking, I tidied up the paperwork on the ACRs and impeachments. So
Okay.
whenever you're ready.
Very good. So
Yeah.
run me through it. So the ACR.
Yeah. The ACRs are for Weiss, Hart, and McNeat, and effectively it's